Self-introduction nervousness? Don't worry, I've got you. There may be many scenarios in your life where you need to introduce yourself without any forewarning, so you need to be prepared. You must pre-write and learn. So today, I'm gonna teach you 21 amazing tips for that first introduction to go right. You might need to introduce yourself at a meeting, a new hobby, job interview, a large event or a convention in front of thousands of people. And so many things can go wrong. These will elevate your confidence and polish those rough edges that make you uncomfortable speaking to someone or a group for the first time. What information to include, what to keep out of your first talk, where to look, how to behave, and things that you especially need to be careful of. We will discuss everything in this short session of 15 to 20 minutes. I know, not too short, right? But 21 tips, guys. You got to give me some time, right? Let's start with the first one on the list, which is stop using the phrase, "Hi, myself Aleena," "myself so-and-so." Incorrect English. Just say, "Hi, I am Aleena," or "Hi, my name is Aleena." You're just starting to speak to somebody. You don't want to make your first mistake in your first sentence, right? Next one is, nothing you wear is more important than your smile. Everyone appreciates a friendly person. And no, you're not giving any wrong hints. This is just basic courtesy, as long as it is done the right amount. So don't just keep staring at somebody. No, don't do that. You don't have to stare and just keep smiling. No, without uttering a word. That would obviously creep somebody out. Next one on the list is bring up things that you're proud of in a much subtle way. Not like, "Hey, my name is Aleena. I have a huge YouTube following." Of course not. Rather, ask a question, and when they ask you a question, just slip in info casually. Like you ask, "Hey, what do you do?" And they tell you this is what they do. They're a software engineer, or they are a blogger, or this or that. And then when they ask it back to you, "Hey, what do you do?" Then you tell them, "Okay, I work on creating videos for social media. I have a YouTube following of millions," and in a subtle way. Next one on the list, this is very important, is to include an icebreaker. What are icebreakers? Icebreakers are sentences that you say in a casual manner to make somebody light, to lighten up the mood of the conversation, to give them space, to make them feel more welcome, to make them feel comfortable. It is these small, light-hearted icebreakers like, cracking a small joke, mentioning a weakness, or something that you see common between the two of you. You could go something like, "This party was so much fun. I was almost asleep." "Oh, I see you're also wearing pink. It happens to be my favorite color." Next is smartly shift between formal and informal language based on the type of meeting and whom you're meeting. That's important to understand. So if it is a formal, more professional environment, you're meeting somebody at a convention or you're representing your company, probably a line like, "It's a pleasure to finally meet you," or "I've been hoping to bump into you in one of these occasions." But when you're meeting somebody in a more casual setting, you're meeting a friend after many days, after many years, something like, "So what's up? What's new in life?" The person in the context is important because mixing the two up, formal and informal language, could be a major mishap. Moving on to a next point, which is add a personal touch. Don't forget to do that. Adding a personal touch is what makes you human. It is what distinguishes you from a robot. Share a personal interest or maybe a hobby briefly to make the introduction more memorable. Like if I have to add a personal touch, I often mention that I'm really into watching movies on the big screen. And I happen to watch a lot of these on the big screen all by myself without company. I just go, I buy a ticket, I sit alone and watch my movie with popcorn. That's how it is. Next is end with a question. You want others also to participate. So the best way to do it is by asking a question towards the end of the introduction. Are you having a good time here? Or something like, What do you like to eat? Can I order something for you? When they answer, you pick up on the conversation and you take it forward. Now, before I continue, I know learning a new language like English all by yourself can be tough. This is why learning from expert teachers is a great idea. It helps you learn much faster. You can find an English teacher for yourself from the platform italki. With italki, you can take one-on-one customized language lessons with thousands of certified native speaking teachers. You can choose between more than 150 languages, and the best part is that you pay per lesson. No subscription, and the prices go from $5. 30,000 plus teachers worldwide are available at your service. Learn anytime from anywhere. Let me show you a clip from a lesson I tried on italki.
We must understand first of all the nature of the vocabulary. Then we should use them in our conversation. But sometimes some people believe that when we use hard vocabulary, then we can give good impression. Not at all. It will cut no ice actually.
Okay.
So we must be well acquainted with the use of that. We read, we use, and we must be conscious about it that yes, I have read this word. And the more we read the vocabulary, the more we use them, employ them in our life, then obviously it will become the part of our conversation also.
Alright. Click through the link below in the description to start your language learning journey. Buy $10, get $5 for free for your first lesson using my exclusive promo code ITALKIALEENA. The discounts are only available for the first 50 users. And now let's go back to what we were talking about. So here's my next point. Next one on the list is so important. Using names. You must talk using the listener's name to personalize the conversation. Because when you take somebody's name, it gives them this subconscious feeling that you like them. Dale Carnegie, a very, very celebrated author of this book, How to Make Friends and Influence People, he said this in his book. Remember, a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Moving on to the next, which is avoid common cliches. Cliches are words and phrases that are spoken too often, so often that they become banal. So these are just overused phrases. For the lack of better example, here's one for you. I hope you're doing well. Hey, how are you doing? And I hope everything is fine with you. Of course, these are courteous. Of course, they make the other person feel respected. But you could come up with something better. So my suggestion to you on this is that you must work on your vocabulary. Try and use better words. Don't use the same, like people have this habit of using very, very often. You get the idea, right? This is very good. This is very beautiful. She is very hardworking. This is that. This, very, 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 very. I make a lot of these videos where I'm teaching you new words to replace these words where you use very, very often. Another way could be start reading more. Many people find it very hard to read every day. But every smart person, mostly every smart person, is in a habit of reading. And if you're not reading, you're missing out of being in that club. I just recently made a video on this topic. I'm gonna list it somewhere here. You could use this video to perfect this concept that we are talking about in this pointer. Just a few changes, like saying, hey, how have you been? Instead of saying, hey, how are you? Do you fancy a drink? Instead of saying, would you like a drink? Do you fancy a drink? Next one on the list, and this is interesting, and I've got my own personal example for you. Prepare a tagline, catchy tagline, or a concise summary of who you are. I'll give you my own example. A line that I often use, which is slightly cringe, but I like it. Hi, I'm Aleena Rais. सिर्फ नाम से ही रईस हूँ. I say that very often. I don't know why, but yeah, I just like using it. Next one is using a hook. Everybody understands what a hook is these days. You hear it a lot in reference to social media. Something intriguing to grab your attention, to grab the other person's attention, like an interesting fact or unique accomplishment. In my case, I often use this And you could have your own. Don't copy mine. Use your own and keep it real. I went to a 130-year-old Christian missionary school. It's actually true. I went to Loreto Convent in Lucknow, and people mostly find it very fascinating. They are like, oh, tell me more about it. Oh, I want to learn more about it. Oh, this is really interesting to me. Can you share more? Next one is prepare for cultural differences. See, what happens is that most of us live in a very diverse country, that is India, and neighboring countries. Now, in India, we've got to be careful about making comments that might offend somebody, because thousands of people come from a variety of different backgrounds and different cultures and different religions. I don't understand how people can eat pork. It's disgusting. Now, to you, it may be disgusting, but there may be several people who really enjoy eating pork. And now imagine saying one of these sentences, something like that, in front of a person in your introduction when you're talking to them for the first time, and saying something offending them. There is no chance on earth you're gonna make some kind of friendship there. Impossible. Next one, so important. And especially when you're talking with women, watch your eyes. A major question is, how much of an eye contact should I make with somebody when I'm talking with them? There is this rule that I read somewhere, really liked it. It's the 50-70 rule. What is 50-70 rule? 50% of the time while speaking and 70% of the time while listening. So when you're speaking, 50% eye contact, or maybe you could take it up, make it 50-60%. And when you're listening, 70% of eye contact, because now you're listening and you have to show the other person that you're actually engaging in the conversation. Now, another thing that you've got to be careful in this point is of not looking at their private parts when you look away. So I take my gaze away from your eyes and I move it down to your chest. And especially when you're talking to a woman, I cannot tell you how uncomfortable it can be for them. Please be careful. And now you may be like, if you don't make this mistake, you may be like, ma'am, what are you talking? It's impossible. Nobody does that. Believe me, people do that. And people do that very often. Please don't do it. Have some manners. Look away. Look at the tree behind you. Look at the table, or maybe look at anything in the background. Look at the table, chair, fan, air conditioner. But don't look at their private parts. Next one on the list is adjust your pace. What I mean by pace is speed of talking. Match it to the person you're talking to. Like if you're talking to kids, you've got to be slow. Apart from pace is tailoring your introduction. By tailoring, I mean making it adaptable. You have to adapt to the audience. You have to see whom you're referring to, whom you're talking to. Like you could not be going around talking about your professional accomplishments in a very casual atmosphere. It may come across as you being arrogant. So be a little careful. Adjust your pace and adjust your content. Next one on the list is keep it brief. Yes, focus on key information like your name, occupation, and why you're introducing yourself. Why are you there? Brevity has great charm, so be concise. Next point on the list is speak clearly, enunciate clearly, and avoid mumbling. When you mumble, what happens is that the other person stresses too much on paying attention and trying to figure out what you're saying. They actually lose the context of what you're talking about. And don't be scared to throw in some relevant pauses here and there. By relevant pauses, I mean that, like I just took a pause, it's okay to take pauses. There's this channel by the name First Post. I have mentioned about this channel in few of my earlier videos because I follow that channel. It's a news channel, and thank God, one such channel that still is real journalism. Anyway, there's this woman by the name Palki Sharma. I'm sure many of you already have heard about her. She's amazing. She's amazing the way she talks. She's so good. And you know what? Sometimes she does make mistakes. She does fumble when she's talking on the camera. And she takes it like she owns it. She makes mistakes and she moves on like in a jiffy. So take pauses, because pauses show confidence. They show that you own the conversation. Pauses add a little mystery to what you're talking. Next one on the list is practice makes perfect. It reduces anxiety and increases your fluency. Go out and speak to more people. Do it proactively rather than playing safe and acting defensive all the time. If somebody will come up and talk to me, only then I'm going to talk to them. That is you acting defensive. Rather, go out and play proactively. People are inviting. People really like having good conversations. Next one on the list is be positive and be mindful about it. Avoid criticizing others. The way you talk about a third person in front of this guy is the way you will talk about this guy to a third person. It's as simple as that, and everybody understands this rule. Next one is be authentic. Authenticity requires A, vulnerability, B, transparency, and 3, C, integrity. By vulnerability, I want to say, what I mean is that you say a few things that may probably not go in your favor. You're talking about your infirmities. You're talking about things you're not very good at. And that actually gives a chance for the other person to open up more. Honesty and courage go hand in hand, and you can't really fake them at length. Next one on the list is use your body language as a tool to convey confidence and respect. We call it the mirroring technique. This may come across as a cheap trick, okay? Some people might not agree to this, but this is a psychological fact. And since I'm making a video on something similar to this, then I have to talk about this. Mirroring is when you mimic the other person's body language. If they are standing like this, okay, avoid this because this is negative body language. But yeah, if they are standing like this with a glass in their hand, you also probably just pick up your glass and stand in a similar way. Or don't exactly mirror them. That's gonna look really creepy. But yeah, a little bit. Mirror their body language. If they're standing like this, you could also maybe put a hand like this and stand like this. So mirroring creates this impression subconsciously that the other person likes you. Next one is follow up. If it's in a professional setting, you've got to follow up. If you're having conversation with somebody, our intent is obviously to strike a bond with that person, to continue to know them and to not stop knowing them in that first conversation. And what is the key to that? You can't just keep waiting for the other person to say hello to you, for them to come back to you. It's all right to, go out and, send a message, say a hi, say hello, how has it been going? Or, hey, do you have some time on the weekend? I was thinking to take you out on coffee. Oh, that means... Be careful of the words you're using, okay? We don't want to give wrong impressions, of course. So this is all in the video. Thank you very much for watching right till the end. I hope I could add something to your information, to your knowledge. There are some really useful links down below in the description box. Please go and check. I'll see you in the next video. You take care of yourself. Bye-bye.